As co-chairs of the benefits system subgroup, we were acutely aware of the enormity of the undertaking, and it was evident from the start that we had, well, quite a challenge. What became apparent very early on was the inherent unfairness of the system, choosing to punish rather than support those who we in this room would consider some of the most vulnerable in society. A system as claimed by Frank Field, whom we met in London, that has driven our most vulnerable residents, some of whom are with us today, into destitution and a reliance on food banks. The Trussell Trust, Britain's largest food bank network, handed out a record number of emergency food bank parcels in 2016-17. It said referrals in areas where universal credits had been fully rolled out were running at twice the national average. And as ForHousing is a food drop-off point, I can confirm the rise in people coming through the doors since universal credit was fully rolled out now as an airport. Mr. Field, the chairman of the Working Pensions Select Committee, went on to say that far from a welfare state which protects the weaker underbelly in society, it's attacking them. From listening to the inspired experiences of the benefits system, most had not gone smoothly, being marred by incorrect information from benefits advisors, incorrect assessments, long waiting times of sometimes months for money to come through, and alleged hostile treatment by benefits advisors. It seems that universal credit is bafflingly complex, unreliable, difficult to manage, particularly if you're without internet access. Community inspirers' experiences also evidence conflicting information being given to those who claim disability benefits, having been signed off sick by the GP, or in many cases consultants, only be told by a mysterious and never to be seen decision maker that they are in fact able to work, and as such have benefits cut until an appeal is heard. The Department for Work and Pensions has spent more than £100 million in just over 2 years on administering reviews and appeals against disability benefits. Tens of millions of pounds a year are also spent by the Ministry of Justice on the appeals, about 2/3 of which were won by claimants in the past 12 months. So, what have we been doing? Whilst I set out, as we all did, to eradicate poverty in the area, as civic, business and faith leaders, we realised we could have a far more significant impact on a much more localised group, that of the community inspirers themselves. And it is of enormous pride that I see how all participants have developed personally in both confidence and ability, with a number having found employment along the way. I think it's fair to say that I and others have also been positively impacted by the community inspirers themselves. I, for one, have been known not to wear a tie to work on Fridays. But on a serious note, it has changed ForHousing's approach to the way we offer services, including an enhanced commitment to the creation of a social impact fund that will be self-sustaining and continue to improve the lives of the residents long after we have gone in West Cheshire. And before I go into detail about some of the group's achievements, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Department for Work and Pensions, in particular Colin and Ben, for their attendance at every single meeting, taking the feedback, most of it uncomplimentary, and feeding that back to the policy reform teams. This feedback has directly impacted on some really exciting things that will be discussed by themselves shortly. So, what have we achieved? The early wins included changes to the way housing benefit letters were sent from the Housing Benefits Office. Our community inspirers shared with the group how unfriendly and confusing some of the letters are, often resulting in people just giving up and not being in receipt of the benefits they're entitled to. Working with the council, the inspirers have directly influenced the look and content of a number of letters sent as part of this process. And at ForHousing, we've also reviewed our suite of letters sent to customers. We agreed at the start that people needed resilience to navigate systems and cope with change. So we are keen to set up a network of individuals who can help others, not just in housing or council offices, but in communities. Thanks to Penny Smart, we are delivering workshops across West Cheshire, training the community inspirers on basic money and benefit advice to enable them to share this, thereby creating a self-sustaining network of knowledge and advice. community inspirers are already seen as the go-to people in their local communities.
We worked with the policy advisor for the joint public issues team, where community inspirers shared their stories and experiences of the system, and in particular benefit sanctions. Their stories are now directly contributing to the follow-up to Rethink Sanction report, and further, the inspirers have also been asked to write the reports forward. The report is highly regarded in the industry and used by those who directly influence national policies. We met with the Information Commissioner about the challenges faced with the sharing of information between the DWP and housing providers, and a report has now been forwarded on behalf of the main housing associations in the North West, encouraging and offering solutions for data sharing agreements to be put in place. Written evidence has also been submitted to the Work and Pension Select Committee, focusing on lived experiences of PIP, ESA assessments and universal credit. The report is being used to further encourage change to the way benefit claims are handled. Arguably, the PTC event at Whitehall has been the Commission's biggest achievement in terms of influencing national policy. The event was kindly sponsored by Justin Madders MP and was very well attended, with numerous MPs and policymakers in attendance. MPs took the time to really listen to the inspirers as they presented the key issues and proposed solutions. The event couldn't have been timed any better, because as the following day PIP assessments were being debated in the House, and Justin was able to use the material from the PTC in the debate. We also have a number of follow-up meetings with MPs and policymakers as a result, and support is growing for the creation of a national body of community inspirers, championed by PTC, who can be utilised by all parties to soundboard draft policies before being released. We'll share more about the event shortly. We have to continue to lobby government and those of influence to ensure that people affected by decisions being made are listened to more often. However, we have to be patient, as this cultural change takes time and, importantly, persistence.
Last year, I attended a gathering of all the other PTCs in the country, colleagues of whom are in this room today. And I picked up a phrase that I genuinely don't think will ever leave me, and that is, does what we do put more milk in people's fridges? Does what we do put more milk in people's fridges? It's so simple, but ultimately the fundamentals of what we as a commission are trying to achieve. And more, it's the fundamentals of what housing associations, third sector, charitable organisations, and ultimately the council are trying to achieve. So, has West Cheshire Poverty Truth Commission in its first year achieved this? In all honesty, probably not. Yet. If we continue to deliver on the ambitions of West Cheshire Poverty Truth Commission and embed them in our organisations, the organisations within this room, we cannot help but to impact positive change to the residents of West Cheshire.
Now, I've been involved since the very beginning of the PTC and sat on the steering group before the commission was even established and the team in post, so it obviously is very close to my heart. We've all travelled a long road together, and I'm proud of us all, inspirers and civic, business and faith leaders alike. I think we can all take a lot of positives from this process. I've been asked to represent West Cheshire on the national group, and working with my fellow commissioners, and particularly Henry, has built my confidence no end. I chaired the subgroup, sometimes on my own, with a little push from Henry, who had great feedback. He'd often say I'd smashed it. Henry and I now have a great working relationship, and I certainly feel on the same level. We even have a laugh at some of the things he would often say in meetings. After the first DWP subgroup meeting, I had to ask him, just what is low-hanging fruit? It's true. And when he said, it's things that we can do quickly and easily, and I said, well, why don't you just say that then? And I lost count of how many times he had to to get his ducks in a row. Seriously though, he has given me so much help, so much practical help with CV writing and interview skills, for which apparently he usually charges a day rate. Thanks to this, I've now got a permanent job which I absolutely love. Henry mentioned before about putting more milk in people's fridges. Well, there certainly is in mine.